Is this the Lehman moment for crypto? That's the question some in the industry are now asking, as leading cryptocurrency exchange FTX faces bankruptcy.
Imagine waking up one morning, opening your phone, logging into your crypto account, and discovering your entire life savings gone. Not because hackers stole it, not because Bitcoin crashed, not because you made a bad trade, but because the company you trusted had secretly spent your money. In less than a week, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges collapsed, erasing billions of dollars in value and triggering one of the biggest financial scandals in modern history. At its peak, FTX was valued at $32 billion. Just months later, it filed for bankruptcy after a liquidity crisis exposed an estimated $8 billion shortfall in customer funds. At the center of it all stood a man who didn't look like a billionaire. He drove a modest car, wore wrinkled t-shirts and cargo shorts, slept on beanbags in the office, promised to give away almost all of his fortune. Politicians praised him, celebrities trusted him, investors called him the next Warren Buffett. The media crowned him the king of crypto. His name was Sam Bankman-Fried. And in just a few days, his empire disappeared. But here's the question that still haunts millions of people. How does a company worth $32 billion collapse almost overnight? To answer that, we have to go back to the beginning. A different kind of billionaire, unlike many tech founders, Sam Bankman-Fried didn't start as a programmer building software in a garage. He studied physics at MIT, one of the world's most prestigious universities. Friends described him as brilliant, awkward, obsessed with mathematics. He wasn't interested in flashy luxury or expensive suits. He wanted one thing: to make as much money as possible, so he could eventually give it away. This philosophy became known as effective altruism, the idea that earning enormous wealth could allow someone to do the greatest possible good through charity. It helped shape Bankman-Fried's public image as an unconventional billionaire focused on maximizing social impact. It was an incredible story. A billionaire who supposedly didn't care about being rich. And people believed it. The opportunity hidden in chaos. In 2017, cryptocurrency was exploding. Bitcoin had become a global sensation. New investors were pouring billions into digital assets. But crypto markets had a strange problem. Prices weren't always the same in different countries. Bitcoin could trade hundreds or even thousands of dollars higher in one market than another. To most people, that meant nothing. To Sam, it looked like free money. He founded Alameda Research, a quantitative trading firm designed to profit from these price differences across global crypto markets. The strategy worked. Alameda made millions, then hundreds of millions. Within a few years, Sam wasn't just wealthy. He was becoming one of crypto's most influential figures. But he had a bigger idea. Why trade on someone else's exchange when you could own the exchange itself? Building FTX in 2019, Sam launched FTX. The goal wasn't simply to create another crypto exchange. It was to build the most advanced trading platform in the industry. Professional traders loved it. The interface was fast, the products were innovative, and unlike many competitors, FTX appeared sophisticated, reliable, safe, money flooded in. Venture capital firms competed for a chance to invest. By early 2022, FTX had reached a private valuation of $32 billion, making it one of the fastest growing financial companies in history. Investors weren't just buying a company, they believed they were buying the future of finance. Celebrity mania, then came the marketing blitz. Tom Brady, Gisele Bündchen, Stephen Curry, Naomi Osaka, Shaquille O'Neal, Larry David. Some of the world's biggest names promoted FTX. Commercials appeared during major sporting events. The company even bought naming rights to the Miami Heat arena. If celebrities trusted FTX, millions of ordinary investors assumed they could too. That trust became one of FTX's greatest assets, and, ultimately, one of its greatest weapons. The image everyone bought Sam wasn't portrayed as another billionaire chasing luxury. He became the industry's responsible adult. He testified before lawmakers, met regulators in Washington, spoke publicly about stronger crypto regulation. While many crypto executives fought oversight, Sam often welcomed it. The message was clear. FTX was different. It wasn't a risky crypto startup. It was the company that would make crypto legitimate. That reputation attracted even more customers. By 2022, FTX had more than 1 million users and ranked among the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges by trading volume. Everything seemed perfect. But behind the scenes, a dangerous secret was growing. The company nobody paid attention to most people knew about FTX. Very few understood Alameda Research. Officially, they were separate companies. FTX was the exchange. Alameda was the trading firm. On paper, that sounded normal. In reality, the relationship was far more complicated. Alameda traded enormous amounts on FTX. According to later court testimony, senior executives said Alameda received special privileges unavailable to ordinary customers, including the ability to maintain large negative balances. Prosecutors argued these arrangements allowed customer funds to be misused. The public had no idea. Investors had no idea. Customers had no idea. Everything looked successful until one article changed history. The leak that started the collapse on November 2, 2022. Crypto news outlet CoinDesk published a report examining Alameda Research's balance sheet. The article suggested that a significant portion of Alameda's assets depended on 50, a token created by FTX itself. That revelation raised questions about how financially independent Alameda really was and whether the companies were more intertwined than investors believed. At first, most people ignored it. Then, the biggest name in crypto made a move. Changpeng Zhao, better known as CZ, the CEO of Binance. He announced Binance would sell its remaining FIT holdings. That single announcement shattered confidence. Customers rushed to withdraw their money. Within roughly 72 hours, FTX customers requested about $6 billion in withdrawals, far more than the exchange could handle. And that's when the terrifying truth emerged. The money wasn't there. The $8 billion lie the withdrawals wouldn't stop. Every second, thousands of customers logged into FTX. Some wanted to withdraw a few $100s, others tried moving millions. The panic spread like wildfire across social media. Within just 72 hours, customers requested nearly $6 billion in withdrawals. For any legitimate exchange, that should have been difficult. For FTX, it was impossible, because the money wasn't sitting in customer accounts anymore. It had already been spent. The tweet that destroyed an empire only days earlier, Sam Bankman-Fried had publicly assured everyone that FTX was fine. Customer assets were safe, liquidity was strong, business was normal. But behind closed doors, executives were desperately searching for billions of dollars they no longer had. Then, the unthinkable happened. Binance announced it had signed a non-binding agreement to potentially acquire FTX. For one brief moment, the crypto world believed the disaster had been avoided. Markets stabilized. Customers relaxed. News headlines described Binance as the company's last hope. But hope lasted less than 24 hours. After reviewing FTX's financial condition, Binance walked away from the deal, citing concerns that were far worse than expected. The rescue was over. FTX was finished. Bankruptcy on November 11, 2022, FTX, Alameda Research, and more than 100 affiliated companies filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The same man once celebrated as crypto's greatest genius resigned as CEO. Just months earlier, his personal fortune had been estimated at over $26 billion. Within days, it had effectively disappeared. It remains one of the fastest destructions of personal wealth ever recorded. The man who walked into chaos when veteran restructuring expert John J. Ray III took over as CEO, he expected problems. After all, he had previously overseen the liquidation of Enron, one of the biggest corporate frauds in American history. But even he wasn't prepared for what he found. According to court filings, FTX lacked basic corporate controls. There were missing financial records, poor accounting, major decisions approved through disappearing messages. Company money was reportedly used to buy luxury real estate and make personal expenditures. Ray later described it as one of the worst failures of corporate governance he had ever seen. Think about that. A man who handled Enron said FTX was among the worst financial messes he had ever encountered. Where did the money go? The biggest mystery remained unanswered. Where were the billions? Investigators soon pieced together an astonishing picture. According to prosecutors, FTX customer deposits had been secretly diverted to Alameda Research. That money allegedly funded high-risk crypto trades, venture investments, political donations, celebrity sponsorships, luxury real estate, private jets, and company expenses. Customers believed their money was safely stored on the exchange. Instead, prosecutors argued it had become the fuel for an enormous, undisclosed financial gamble. Friends became witnesses as investigators dug deeper. Something extraordinary happened. The people closest to Sam began cooperating. The sentence in March 2024, the judge delivered the punishment. 25 years in federal prison. Bankman-Fried was also ordered to forfeit $11 billion, reflecting the scale of the fraud prosecutors said he orchestrated. The judge concluded that billions of dollars in customer funds had been misappropriated and rejected the defense's request for a much shorter sentence. Years later, his conviction and sentence were upheld on appeal, reinforcing the court's conclusion that he orchestrated one of the largest financial frauds in modern history. The ripple effect 50x's collapse didn't just destroy one company. It shook the entire cryptocurrency industry. Bitcoin plunged. Other crypto firms failed. Investors withdrew billions. Confidence evaporated almost overnight. Regulators around the world accelerated efforts to tighten oversight of cryptocurrency exchanges, demanding greater transparency, stronger governance, and better protection for customer assets. For millions of investors, the dream of a decentralized financial future suddenly looked much riskier. A lesson written in billions, perhaps the most shocking part of the FTX story, wasn't that a company failed. Businesses fail every day. It was that so many intelligent people believed it couldn't fail. Top venture capital firms invested. Celebrities endorsed it. Politicians praised it. Institutional investors trusted it. Millions of ordinary customers deposited their savings. Almost no one asked the most important question: who was watching the money? The answer: almost nobody. The legacy of FTX today, the name FTX has become more than a failed company. It has become a warning. A reminder that charisma is not transparency. Rapid growth is not financial strength. Celebrity endorsements are not proof of safety. And billion-dollar valuations do not guarantee trust. The bankruptcy process has recovered substantial assets, and administrators have worked toward repaying customers, but the collapse remains one of the defining events in cryptocurrency history. In the end, the biggest cryptocurrency scandal wasn't caused by blockchain technology. It wasn't caused by Bitcoin. It wasn't caused by hackers. It was caused by something much older than crypto itself. Greed, and on the day that trust disappeared, so did billions of dollars.